Well, I'm here and it's time for a show. So here we are. And it's been an absolutely ungodly, miserable week here in Florida. Today was the culmination of just sheer yuck. It was 101 at my house, and the dew point was 82. So it was a little sweaty. And then I discovered that my newer BMW, the 95, has a gas leak that I have to go fix tomorrow morning. I can't wait. I'm so excited in the heat to do these types of things. It's so great. But I'm glad that all of you are here and got a fun little show tonight because it is the dog days of summer. It's when it's brutally hot here in Florida where you can't take your car out anymore. I actually had people commenting that I got I got got I got to go out on Saturday with my car finally, but it's just been the rest of the time though it's just dog and just the cars are just covered. So yes, and here we go. What about Al on the Pacific Northwest? 91. Oh dear Lord! And you don't really have like great air conditioning. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, not really. Your winters are nice though. Benjamin, I'm here, and thank you, Dennis. I got my DJ's Classic Garage stickers this week. Yes, I sent out everybody that participated. I finally got off my lazy ass, and I sent everybody everything that I had promised. If you had sent me your information, I sent you something because that's just the type of person I am. And what about Al? Thanking me for the stickers, and of course, Jamie's here. Hi, Jamie. Cool. So, yeah, so it's been a fascinating week because on Saturday I was able to go out with my Charger and take it to Culver's. Culver's had a little cruise in, and honestly, if there's a Culver's in your area, I know out about out, they probably don't have them out west. I know they don't, but Benjamin probably knows what I'm talking about. Culver's, they actually support car shows. It was wonderful. They were so nice. Took the cars out. I did a little walkthrough video. I haven't done anything with it yet. I'm trying to talk to this guy that has a really cool 72 Dart that he built with a a B motor in it. Oh, yeah, exactly, Benjamin. I figure you have them. And they'll actually have car shows. If you put in your Google machine and you go, Culver's car show, you'll probably see one in your area. And they're just very, very nice. And there's a lot of cool cars. And it was just a fun little show. And it was nice getting the car out. I like evening shows, especially in Florida in the summer, because it got cooler as it went along. And there was no chance of rain. It was really special. So, you know, had to use air on the way out, but no air on the way home. It was wonderful. And actually, that's how I finished up. I just did a video on Boostain that is on my channel. So if you have a car that has any type of real performance, and it's kind of has a little bit of pingy, so watch this video, see if this is going to be for you. What is all about out there? There's a place called Burger Master that a bunch of guys show off their cars on Friday nights. Next time I'll go take a video. They got some cool muscle cars. Oh, cool. Yeah, I like those. I like those nighttime cruising things, man. Those are like the best things ever. Honest to God. I like that. I don't like the morning cars and coffee. That's some evil thing that somebody thought up of, that I got to get up. My ass has got to get up early on Saturday to go, drive real early and then get some bad coffee and some awful donuts. And two Diesel Larry. Hello, how you doing? So yeah, so I like the nighttime shows because the nighttime shows are pretty friggin' awesome. And we used to have more of them here in Tampa. And used to have them at Steak and Shake on Hillsborough Avenue. And that was really great. The traffic, those got to the point where weeknight shows have become almost impossible in this area. It's so bad. I mean, it really is. The traffic here is atrociously bad. Near my house is basically rush hour, like 18 hours a day. It's so awful. So that was nice to have a Saturday night. Actually, the Saturday night stuff there isn't enough traffic. It's so weird. So, you know, I was able to enjoy it. But the rest of this week has just been so miserable and hot, and trying not to do anything outside because I'm just dying. I had to do a little bit of work on the assistance, the Intrepid Assistance car, the E36 convertible. I did a little bit. I'm going to be doing a video on stopping convertible leaks because a 30-year-old convertible with the original seals is a leaky machine, no matter how nice the roof is. And I had to work a little bit on that today. I got it all fixed, but I was like melting out there. It was not good. It was not good. It was over 100. I was not happy. So it's just been one of these dog days of summer weeks. And it's brutal. Hi, Ghost Moss. How you doing? So, yeah, it's just been that. Next week I will not have a show because I'm actually going to do a little trip with the E36. Maybe I'll do a video for that. I don't know. Yes. Sunday at Englishtown. Oh my God. I used to love going to Englishtown. That was the funnest place to go. It was so, I mean, it was like you were near the city. All of a sudden you're like in this rural area. And I just loved going there and seeing the drag racing there. That's actually, they had a great big Mopar show there. And I hear a puzzle. Hold on one second. I got to let a puzzle in. Hello, puzzle. How are you doing? Okay. All right. I have let a puzzle in. I don't know what she's going to make an appearance, but she's here. So yeah. Vintage 76 Garage. I remember going to afternoon car shows during the summer months, Monday to Friday. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't. Well, Florida, I don't see that. But in the wintertime, you figure, old people like me, we'd be able to do that. There won't be kids around, but no. But or evening shows. I like evening shows, and those are always been my favorite. Especially if there's someplace to eat. I kind of like to eat. I'm big on that. I'm really big on eating. That's why I have a gut. But so I digress. All right. So this has been one of these. It's just been one of these weeks where I could kind of work in my air conditioned garage, and that's about the extent of it. And maybe drive cars with air conditioning. So, all right. So this week, two things happened for old cars. One was the Chrysler's at Carlisle, which is the largest Chrysler show, which I'm going to go to next year in the United States. It's massive. Carlisle is just a freaking ridiculous place, and I'm going to go next year, bring my car up, and just enjoy it because I have a friend that already goes up there. And so there was that, and then of course the Mecom Summer Auction happened. That was here in Kissimmee, Florida, and that was actually kind of fascinating. I'm going to go over some of the auction items there because it was kind of fascinating, especially if you're in the old car realm and you're maybe even looking for one or trying to sell one or know someone wants to sell one. It's very, very weird time right now. Extremely weird time. And Puzzle is she's really being annoying, as puzzles can be. So let's move on with a little bit of news here, guys. Let's move on with some news. First, we're going to talk about this. My favorite topic, Stellantis. And this is about Chrysler. And this is at Chrysler's of Carlisle. So the Chrysler CEO talks 100 years of operations and teases SRT models. So allegedly, they're going to be coming back with high-performance models. God knows how much they're going to cost. And this is their big push. So Chris Fuel, she's the CEO of Chrysler. She's basically been the CEO of Chrysler as they've disintegrated into nothing. She came there in 2021, and now they sell minivans. And she's there, and she's once again talking vaporware that they just don't have anything. So this is what she says: Chrysler is a blank canvas right now. You think? You Most people think Chrysler's a minivan brand. No. And we wear the badge proudly. Seriously? You wear the badge proudly that you're only known for minivans? Honey, come on, man. This was the company that made the Cordoba with Corinthian leather. But Chrysler's been known in the past for some really impressive products, and we're going to get back some segments we exited a long time ago. Huh? I'm super excited to have Antonio Filosa as a new CEO because he believes in Chrysler. He's investing in Chrysler. You're going to see some game-changing products. That's a bold statement. Over the next few years, new segments, a crossover, bringing back a car, some performance models, and a really cool concept. Yeah. Okay. So, that's pretty much the meat of this article with her. They asked her about a Chrysler 300 relaunching, and here's the old man car here, the 300, and they're kind of sidestepping it. I haven't seen a concept car from Chrysler in a while, except the Halcyon. That was the last one they had. And they actually had the stones to roll the Halcyon back out at Chrysler Carlisle. They actually rolled that was a concept car they had, and they rolled that sucker back out for no apparent reason. And honestly, at this point, it's my little thing on Stellantis that they're gonna. Stellantis is stopping the production of the Hornet, blaming tariffs, but no one buys the vehicle. So if you stop making something no one wants, does anybody notice it's not there? And then the Charger, the new Charger, the whole thing may be scrapped. Seriously, they may stop making the whole kit and caboodle. The EV is dead. It's dead as a doornail. And the i6 hasn't even started production yet. Don't know when it's going to start production. If the i6, from what I've heard, if the i6 doesn't do really well, they're just going to stop making that car. They may just hold out and try to get a Hemi in it, but that's going to take at least a year. And yes, to Diesel Larry, striving for mediocrity. That is Chrysler and Stellantis right now. And we got a puzzle who's licking my legs, and honestly, she feels like she's being neglected, and she's a terrible co-host. She's a terrible co-host. Are you gonna say something? She's a terrible co-host. Yeah, but yeah, they are striving for mediocrity, and it's a shame because when you own the old cars, if the new company, there we go. Okay. The old if you own the old cars, if the company is no longer around, yes, I know she's cute, but God, she could be annoying. Man. If the company's not around, it's hard to get any support for your new car, for your old car. And right now, Dodge and Chrysler are and Ram and Jeep are such disasters at this point that me waiting for stuff to get manufactured for my car, for my 72 Charger, is impossible at this point. And there's no support at all from Stellantis, and it's not great. It's actually kind of sucks. So I don't know. I mean, I'm so jealous of General Motors and Ford guys because they literally have stuff made for even their old cars, and I'm so jealous of that. It's absolutely crazy. Yes, the Charger's a nice looking car. The powertrain just sucks. Yeah, and actually, from what I've been reading, and I've seen stats, and I've seen other YouTube channels, TK's Garage, and what's his name? The Butters. They've shown the performance. That's inline 6, that the food stamp BMW 6 that they have, because that's what it is, a food stamp BMW 6. The car's slow. It's 0 to 60 in like near 5 seconds, and a quarter near 13. That is not fast. Yeah, goes to my 20 the 2026 Chrysler 300 is rumored to be returning both electric and gasoline engine options, potentially including a V8, according to Google. Yeah, no. There's been we're only a couple months away from 2026. Even it's not happening. There's so many people that can take pictures today of cars, of test mules. It's hard to hide a test mule now. It's so hard to hide one. And they have nothing. Chrysler, the division has nothing. Dodge has nothing at this point. Dodge is down to the Durango. That is all Dodge has at this point is the Durango. And this is at this point, this is an utter and absolute shame. I mean, the way it's going to end up for them is sad. And Ram, they're allegedly have the V8s. You could order them. I went on the website. I see no build. And the other thing is, on the Rams, the V8 is like a $3,000 option already on an expensive truck because the cheapest one's in the 40s. I could buy an F-150 if you just want to have a truck and you don't care about comfort or anything like that. You can get a F-150 with a Coyote and a 6.5-foot bed and an extended cab for under $40,000, under 40 grand. If you need something to tow or whatever, I see no, that's why it's with Ram. Oh, sorry, Wuzzle. With Ram, I just don't get it. Yes, the Dodge Durango is still a thing, and it's still the same Dodge Durango. It literally is. They Wuzzle, why do you keep doing that? My arms flail. The Dodge Durango is still basically the same Durango it was like 8 years ago, and that's it. I mean, it's the same vehicle, and they have nothing else to put there. They are really not supporting. Stellantis really isn't supporting North America at all at this point. And the person running North America is Filosa. He is the actual CEO of North America, which I don't know. It's really kind of sad. It really is. But let's talk about something a little more fun. So everybody likes stick shifts, right? Well, there's only 2 SUVs left in America with a manual transmission. And I saw this picture and I was like, I know that because I have one of these. In fact, this is a Badlands just like we have because I see the orange. And there it is, the 6+1 stick shift. And of course, the Wrangler also has a stick shift in it. So these two are sticks. And so the Subaru, the WRX has one also. So that's there's like only 3 4-wheelers that have it. And so, yeah, this is the setup we have, the 2.3. And the 2.3 you can get with the 6-speed transmission. That's actually an option. The automatic is the standard on this. And these two are the only ones that have a stick shift available. And the thing is, neither one of them have a stick shift on the high-powered engines. So the 392, that's 62,000, 105,000 does not have 100,500 doesn't have a stick shift. But the same thing happens with the Bronco when you actually get like to the Raptor. There is no stick shift. But here, I mean, and everybody was always beating on the Ford 4-cylinder, 275 horsepower, 315 foot-pounds of torque. Not a terrible vehicle. And the 7-speed is actually pretty nice in it. The first gear is a crawler. This is a really neat setup. And actually, I wish somebody would put one of these, this setup in one of the original Broncos, because it would be absolutely phenomenal. I mean, seriously, it would get like you'd get 20 something miles to the gallon, and you'd still be able to have all that power that V8 had, but be able to get the fuel economy. So, yeah, it is sad. I mean, honestly, I think there's less than 10 cars that have stick shifts. Honestly. Yes, goes a mass. 2 left with stick shifts. Yep. Yeah, there's only 2. I mean, because none of the trucks in North America, no trucks. The F-150, the Ranger, because the Ranger doesn't even have a stick shift. The F-150, the Ranger, and all the General Motors and all the Rams, none of them have stick shifts. These are the only 2 that you can go off-road on that have stick shifts. And I love the pros and cons. I love it. Manual transmissions require more driver bandwidth to operate. My God, what a millennial statement, which can be a pro and con depending who you ask and what they're driving. Some drivers like the extra engagement, an idea of working all 4 of their appendages while driving for a sense of maximum control. Having a clutch pedal to quickly connect and disconnect engine power from the driveline is advantageous in certain situations too. Yeah, over the life of the vehicle, manual transmissions are widely held as easier to maintain, with some owners preferring to change a clutch every so often as opposed to a entire transmission. Yeah, I like it, and so I mean, yes, the maintenance is a bit. Here if you drive or in commuter traffic, the automatic transmission option either you can make for more convenient or relaxed experience. Well, the thing is, especially with these, they have enough torque that you really don't have to. You could just kind of crawl along in them. But it's actually kind of sad that we're actually at this point. Tacoma, I don't know if the Tacoma has it. I don't know because I haven't seen anybody. Well, let's look that up. Let me see if a Tacoma actually does have this because now I'm curious. Because they didn't mention it in here. And a Tacoma is an off-road vehicle. So you're saying the 2026 Tacoma. Would it be a stick shift? Let's see what we got here. It's expected to be available with it. Okay, according to the Google machine, it's expected to have a 6-speed. That'd be fine. That'd be really, really cool. More bandwidth. It's a millennial turn. I think it's the ability to have more connection to the car. I think that's what that means. The 2025. Well, does it 2025? Let's take a look. I guess I turned my number lock off. There we go. I just got a second monitor to make my life easier so I can do this. Yes. Oh, yeah, it is. Well, what do you know? So it's the only pickup truck that has a stick in it now. Holy mackerel. I didn't even know it was still available. God, Toyota doesn't push that. And Toyota has great stick shifts. They really do. Toyota sticks are wonderful. They're smooth, real smooth. Wow. You can get it in the Turd Sport and the Turd Off-Road. Automatic rev matching and anti-stall. So it's like it's kind of like the Bronco. The Bronco, they didn't do rev matching, which is weird. Go figure. Go figure. So cool. I learned something tonight. Thanks, guys. I did not know that. So, speaking of things that are more good news, these are good news. This is good news. Corvette commits to V8 long-term as EV, still science fiction. So the EV dream is dead because now corporate people are basically saying it's a joke. It's not. It's a joke. It's not real. General Motors is actually going to be building a bunch of new V8s. And General Motors engineers boss said brand will not make a car just to meet regulation. My God, the automobile manufacturers are finally waking up that you need to build cars people want. not cars governments want, because this is the only way you're gonna have it. So, uh, the basically, the long short of this article is that, they had this weird concept here and all, but it really is, it's a V8. Instead, the sport car was tuned by a V8, either naturally aspirated form or hybrid element as E-Ray. That's fine. They don't even want to do a plug-in. It's just amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And I mean, they showed that honestly, they can build a very good V8. The new Corvette, I was actually very also thanks Benjamin. Um that General Motors is built a very good car with the new Corvette. I'm actually impressed. And sooner or later, all this nonsense about trying to get us into cars that aren't really cars is going to end. And with the manufacturers realizing you have to build stuff people want. So, I mean, this is huge. I mean, this is absolutely huge this week. This just happened too. This is so great that in the same week that they announced that they were going to do a bunch new engines for trucks and SUVs, V8s. No, you can't. I know vintage 76. That's the only shame, that you cannot get a new Corvette with with any type of manual transmission. It actually is pretty much a sin. It really is. But they do have a good sequential gearbox in there. I will say to praise the sequential gearbox. I owned one. I owned the BMW sequential gearbox, and holy mackerel! I mean, if you're doing like autocrossing and stuff or track, it's hard because you're like the professional drivers at the point, because it's real hard to want to do a stick shift again once you do that. Ed Rooney, hey, hope you got your shirt. Hope it fits. Let me know if it does. Someday the EV stuff will end. Until then, be brave, be strong, and above all, be an ice engine lover. But yeah, so I just EV stuff is dying a very, very quick and painful death, which is fine, because electric appliances have no place on the road. They really don't. And honestly, if you do any reading, read about how the power requirements for these AI farms are, and tell me how you're going to have an electric car, because they can't even make enough power for these AI computer installations at all. I mean, they're talking about making mini nukes to be able to power them. That's how much power they take. Oh, I got it. I DM on Instagram to let you know that. That's the one thing I don't check is Instagram. Darn. I'm so bad about Instagram. I have a hard enough time keeping up with YouTube. I really do. Oh my God. Because I go through all the comments. When I do a video, I go through all the comments. I'll comment on most of the comments. And because I learned something, and I may actually get an idea for a new video, which is really cool. It's just I always and I try to always be I always try to be polite, though in the back of my mind, my head's rolling like he's. But yeah, so let's move on to the other big event this week, which was the Mecom auction. This is for old cars. Big. This is a big event, and Mecom is the premier auction house. I mean, they are large. They're the largest. They have the largest auction in the world in January in Kissimmee, Florida. And they they are much bigger than Barrett Jackson, much bigger. So they had one. They added another one in summertime, which I didn't go to because it's too damn hot over there in Kissimmee, Florida. And this is really fascinating. If you're an old car person, if you want an old car, if you want to sell an old car, if you want to buy an old car, it's been very fascinating because I'm going to show you this. And this is the last page. On this page is 45 cars, 45 cars that went over the auction block. The yellow little dots mean that they sold. The other ones mean that they're trying to sell it, but more than likely not going to happen. On this page of 45 cars, this is how this auction went. This is very bad. 16 of these 45 cars sold. 16 out of these 45 cars sold. And the ones that sold, I mean, some got good money, and this is on Sunday, and some got just, well, the ones that sold actually get good money. You know, I mean, but it really was kind of lame. I mean, it really was lame. And I mean, it's just like, wow. Yeah, not even half. No, not even half. I mean, I've never seen an auction in the last 5 years where it's been this bad, where stuff just didn't sell. And like even this car here, this Studebaker Dictator St. Regis Brougham. So this is a street rod. It sold for $66,000. Okay. You can't build that car for $66,000. You can't. And the person that sold it had to pay $6,600 to Mecom. And the buyer that bought it had to pay $6,600 to Mecom. So he paid $72,000 for this car. The guy that sold it made less than $60,000. You damn well know he has more than $60,000 in this car. And it's awful. And yes, Vintage 76, it doesn't help that the dollar is losing value. Yeah, no, it's worth pennies what it was in 1970. And yeah, I'm going on a overseas trip, and Jesus, yeah, I'm gonna get killed. 34 Studebaker must have like 60,000 puzzle power. Yes, of course it does. But you know, so this car, this person actually got a hell of a deal buying it because you can't build these cars for that much. Street rods are expensive to build. If this was done right, and I didn't really look at this, it's just one of those that caught my eye. You know, it really is not good. Then you have like the new stuff like this. See people trying to unload new cars, and you pay to put this into auction. And this was $100,000 Hellcat SRT Durango SRT. You're not going to make any money. You're not going to make any money selling this. You'd have to sell this car for like $130,000 to make money at auction. And the market's not there. The market's not there. On the new cars, the market's not there. I mean, I saw a bunch of Hellcats and nothing was selling. Yeah, I know those Euros are expensive. $1.16. Tell me. Just tell me about it, please. Please just tell me about it. You know, look at this. A 2006 Porsche Cayman S race car. This is a race car. A Porsche race car. $50,000. Didn't sell. But look, a 53 F100 pickup. 351 Cleveland air conditioning, really sharp. $24,000. I mean, with the VIG on there, you're talking $26,000. Actually, not a bad deal for a pick-me-up truck. You know, some of the pick-me-up trucks sold. You know, this is a hell of a deal if you like the $9,300. I mean, it's a little rough, but I mean, it's a big F-150. I don't know. I thought it was pretty, but really not. I mean, this Scrambler, these are hard to find. 27,000. I mean, obviously, he had no reserve on the car. He got taken off. Yeah. Yes, Benjamin. $9,300 for this. Honestly, that's. I mean, look, it's a long bed. It's all there. It's actually a nice. This is a nice truck. It's a little rough, but I mean, it's a truck, and you know, it's a 40-something-year-old truck. So, yeah, I mean, it was painted pretty nice. Obviously, somebody did a little paint job on it and all, but I mean, honestly, if there's nothing really wrong with it, this is a good little truck. Simple, basic. It'll do truck things with it. And it's hard. I mean, in this truck, you could just keep driving. It's really nothing super special, but it has a 351 in it, and it probably has 109,000 miles on it, which still on a 351, there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with this thing. This is a good little truck here. Sliding back window on it too, with a big bed. That actually was a heck of a deal. But honestly, it was just a really oh God, more Howard Stern stuff. Yes, it is very nice for that price. It's very, very nice. So, the auction happened, and this is kind of like a canary in the coal mine. Like this 67 Ranchero, 25,000, and the bidding stopped. I mean, honestly, of the Broncos, the early Broncos were untouchable 2 years ago. Untouchable. And now this one, 125 grand, stopped. They had their reserve and just couldn't sell. Let's see. I saw that. Wait. You just had your nails done in that truck's color. Oh, cool, Sue. That would look nice. It is like an emerald green. It's pretty nice. Yes, it's great for hauling dirt bikes. Actually, you can tow anything with this. It does only has a bumper hitch, but I bet if you put a real tow hitch on it, you could easily tow something with this. Easily. It's a 351 in this thing. That's a decent truck. Trucks are expensive. Oh, good. Sue M's catching up. I'm glad to hear that. Good. Yes, the big bed. It has an 8-foot bed on it. This is hard to get these days. This is pretty neat. Come on, this color's awesome. I love this color. I want one. If I didn't have a good truck, I would want this thing. Absolutely. So, so the auction won, and it wasn't really phenomenal. Like, here's a Nomad that didn't sell. 60,000, couldn't sell. A real Humvee, 42,000, didn't sell. This is the diesel one. That's a real Humvee, didn't sell. Continental didn't sell. Beautiful car. Look at that. That looks like you bring it to Pebble Beach. Can't sell it. There are a 70 Cuda with a 340, so it's a real car. 75,000, stopped dead. Original color, whatnot. So this is where we are now with the classic cars. So my first little example of just, oh my God, what's going on? This is a 56 Ford Thunderbird. Now these cars have gone almost nowhere in the past decade, and puzzle is really annoying. Yes, the color is really hard to take on this car, but it has a 312 in it. It's a Y block. I know it's not the greatest engine, but still a Y block. Does it come with a Leprechaun? Yes, it does actually. How'd you know? It's in the trunk. And 24,000 didn't sell. There's nothing wrong with this car. I looked at every picture trying to find a flaw with this car. I can't find a flaw. Is my New York accent coming out? Everything on this car is done exactly the way it should be. It is a beautiful, beautiful 56 Thunderbird in a very bizarre color. And actually, that is a factory color. It's pretty tough to look at. But if we go and look at the values, a 56 Thunderbird in that condition should be around $40,000, between 1 and 2. It may even be close to a 1. We're talking way over $40,000. And it has both tops. 24,000. Literally, that's basically a driver. And this car could not sell. Nothing wrong with it. Literally, completely, it has only 88,000 miles on it total. Nothing wrong with the car except it's an automatic, which really isn't a problem. And it didn't sell. This is Yes, I know, baby vomit color. I understand it, but it's still a Thunderbird, and this is a '50s color, and it just did not sell. Look at me car. Yes, exactly what this is, and it didn't sell. This is how weak the market has gotten. The older stuff, because people under 50 don't want this car. I don't want this car. I'm 50. How old am I now? 53. 53? Yeah, I'm 53. I don't want this car. I don't. I mean, honestly, there are better cars out there, for money, because this is only a two-seater. It doesn't handle particularly well. It doesn't have great brakes on it. It isn't very rigid, but it is a cool looking car. So, but yeah, 24,000, just not going anywhere. Yes, it is, and yes, beautiful car, and the price is less than any new car. Yeah, and it didn't sell. It did not. It didn't even come close to selling, because they probably had to reserve over 40,000 on this car, and it never even made it, which is just this is a real canary in the coal mine market, a coal mine moment in the old car world, because it is now getting to the point where good cars aren't selling, like this one. I'm not a Chevy guy, but the Monte Carlo is a great car. This is a great car. The price they got on this car is theft. $9,900. So even with the VIG, they're under 11 grand. Under $11,000 for a beautiful, not beautiful, but a nice driver Monte Carlo. It has some issues like this. It has a little bit of rust here. I can see that. It needs a little help. Probably a little cleanup, a little on the bottom of the door. It's not perfect, but it's also less than 10 grand. The engine appears to be there. It's been painted recently. Looks like it's been work done on it. It's got power brakes, no air conditioning. Still a 350, so, solid. And 10 grand. 10 grand. Benjamin, how is that a car in auction with cars at over 100,000? Mecom sells everything. They will sell a car that is in pieces. They literally will auction anything off. And this is just a lot. And this is from Friday. So this is, like on the days where Saturday and Sunday is what you usually see on TV. And those are like the high dollar days. But Thursday and Friday, you end up having cars like this, which are just really decent cars. And but for under 10 grand for this car is stealing. There's no rot on the body. That I can see. I mean, there's a little bit of maybe some surface stuff in the doors and whatnot, but other than that, the body looks fairly straight. It's not banged up. It really is a decent looking car, and it's sold for $10,000. And if you look here at the values, a 70 Chevelle with a 350, no air, so it ends up being the same thing. Say this is like between a 3 and a 2, right? Because it's pretty low mileage. So 15 grand, 15 grand would be probably a good place for this car. 12 to 12.5 is really an awesome price. This person paid $10,000 and honestly stole the car. There isn't a lot of room at the top on these, but you know what? I had a video with 5 old cars that are still affordable, that are still good cars, and this is one of them. Yes, the 70 Grand Prix is a better looking car, but the Grand Prix are pretty expensive. And yes, this one actually did sell for $9,900. Somebody walked away with a hell of a deal on this car. Yeah, somebody really did walk away with a hell of a deal, because this is where we are now in the market. We're in the market where the top is coming down and the bottom is kind of coming up, but really not. Because these cars just, they've always been underappreciated because they're just not Chevelles. That's why. So, Yeah, and then now this abomination. So this car looks really great on first, at first glance when you do first blush on this car. Uh, and it sold for 52.8. And so I'm figuring the person that did this car lost money because this is a fake car. It's just a regular Coronet. It's not an RT. It was a 318 car. It's here. And they spent a lot of money on this car. A lot of money on this car. And they got they only took home 45,000, and there's no way they built this car for 45,000. And I'm absolutely amazed. So it's a fake Coronet RT, but you know what? At 52, it's not horrible because it is a 440 with a 4-speed, and it is a ragtop, and it was done kind of nice. The interior's done nice. The engine was done correctly. Looks right. I mean, it does look right. I don't understand this, but these cars never have spare tires in them. I don't understand. I see so many of these cars. Why can't you buy a car with a spare tire? I don't get it. Like seriously, even if you go on the sites that sell, like they have the consignment, there's never a tire in the car. But I mean, look how nice this car is. Then there's a Dana. That's $3,000. Put a Dana in the car. I mean, they spent a lot of cash on here. Benjamin, this may be a stupid question. No, there are no such thing as stupid questions. But my car knowledge is small. Do all these cars run on unleaded gasoline? Yes and no. Anything built before 1973 may not be able to run on unleaded gas if the engine has not been worked on. And what I say by that, okay, so in 1973 they went to unleaded gasoline. So what happened is they put hardened valve seals. So where the valve opens and closes inside the little head, it's hard metal there. Before that, in 1973 and down, they used a soft metal, and the lead in the gasoline was like a cushion for the valves. If that engine had not been worked on, that is a pre-73 440 in that car. It really shouldn't be run on unleaded fuel. It would have to be run on leaded fuel. But most engines, after they get rebuilt now, have hardened valve seats, as they say, and you can run them on unleaded gas. Ethanol gas is another problem, but that's a whole nother bag of worms there, because it's very bad for old engines and bad for carburetors. So yes, Benjamin. The long short is if they're not touched, they can't run on unleaded if they're pre-73. If they've been touched, Benjamin, follow-up question: where do you get leaded gas? You can't. I've heard rumors. Well, no, actually, you can go to a speed shop and get leaded gas. You'd be paying $12 a gallon, or do you go to your local airport and buy aviation fuel because it's still leaded? Because the airplane engines need to use lead. You're not supposed to drive on the street, but in Florida, some states you can get in some serious trouble if they know you're putting that gasoline in the cars. Sue, I've never heard of leaded gas. Sue, come on. They stopped. Leaded gas was still around up till like 1990 or 91. It was still used. I mean, I used to put it in my Charger, and the Charger ran wonderful with leaded gas in it. The only thing is the lead's not good for you. It can make you a little bit sick if long-term exposure to lead is not good. Holy puzzle pus, $12 a gallon. And no, they'll get more than 2 miles to the gallon, Benjamin. You get like 8 or 7. But yeah, the race gas is $12 a gallon. That's why I did I tried boosting with my car because I needed to raise the octane. And for $4 that's extra a tank full, I'll do that any day of the week. Well, Articulate John, lead never killed anyone. I don't know. I might actually kind of believe on this one. I saw a lot of messed up kids in New York. They paint. Ed Rooney, didn't lead act as a lubricant in some old mechanic fuel and some of the old mechanical fuel injection systems? Yes, they the engineers used lead for since it was part of the fuel supply when they built engines. Yes, they would put it in there, and it actually was a lubricant. It was an octane booster because it actually was one of the things that had tetraline lead, I think it is, or whatever it was. So and on the old BMW ones, because they're mechanical, you had moving parts going in there, and yes, you needed to have the lubrication to keep it from wearing itself out. In fact, you have to use some sort of with the some sort of like Marvel mystery oil. Marvel mystery oil will lubricate that type of stuff also. Sue M. I think I just said $20 unleaded because I heard my parents say it. I probably never knew it. They took for leaded gas. No. Articulate John, but we can run our submarines on radioactive material. Yes, because it's controlled radioactive material. It's controlled inside of it's inside of a reactor. Anyone see? I have not seen Superman. James, I don't know if I can handle an hour and whatever of James Gunn humor. So I haven't heard great things about it. I heard it's a little bit of a mess. See, what about Al? And it was terrible. Yeah. So what about it? Was it like a conflated mess where Superman's not even the star of his own movie? Like Mr. Fantastic is like the most competent person in the entire movie, from my understanding. Yes, the 1978 one. Benjamin. So the only Superman to me is Christopher Reeves. Absolutely. Absolutely. Christopher Reeve is Superman. Yep. What about us? What else I heard? Like the 78 movie, they made Superman a pussy. They in the 78 movie, the tagline is, see, men can fly, and the tagline finished, see, men can cry. Oh, eat a ton of popcorn. Go see F1 instead. You'll have plenty of time to eat a lot of popcorn. It's a much better movie. It's not really about cars. Brad Pitt's in it. He's, I heard he's still good looking. Sue, why does everybody hate James Gunn? Because James Gunn does movies about James Gunn. That is it. He does quirky humor. It's his humor. And so he'll make the movie like based on James Gunn. And you can't do Superman being James Gunn. Yeah, you'll believe a man can fly, but also now you'll believe a man can cry. Oh my God. Green Lantern. Yes. Yes. Gail Gardner rules that movie. Yeah. That's the thing. It's Superman's movie, and all these other people are like, running the movie. Yes, Benjamin, I know. Monique says Brad Pitt has bad skin. I know, but he actually looks pretty young in this movie. So I did a review on the F1 movie. It's in my things. Sue, go see the F1 movie. You'll actually really, really enjoy the movie at this point. It's a fun movie. It's a personal. It's a more movie about triumph over adversity. Kind of a good thing. Ed Rooney, I heard one of the Brad Pitt's one of those guys didn't shower. I hope he did. He did a lot of driving in an F1 car. That'd be kind of nasty. What about Al? Back to Superman. Superman's James Gunn. How can you take director seriously when he uses Richard Christie's parents as models for speech dialect? Absolutely. Yeah. Articulate John, is it like Days of Thunder? Yeah, with better cinematography and better sound. But yeah, it's kind of in that vein. It's very, very well done. And also they used a lot of the F1 people in it, and they really make to the reality of it. Is that Gail Gadot, the worst actress ever, besides Brie Larson? But who cares? They're hot. I'll watch them all day. All right, so I'd see F1 too. I love popcorn. Dear God, you can buy it, make it at home, but go see the F1 movie. It's 2.5 hours long. Make sure you go to the bathroom beforehand and see it in comfortable theater. That's what I did. I had Chase lounges, heated, heated Chase lounges. Very good stuff. So, yeah, Superman's James Gunn is not the greatest movie ever. Oh, Sue M is addicted to this. Oh, or yes, I know what about. She's addicted to the movie theater popcorn. Oh, yeah, I know. It's not the same. Yeah, I know. I know. It's different. I know. I know. Except we didn't see at my theater. We didn't want to take out the loan to buy it. We just brought in snacks from Dollar Tree. I brought in my chocolates. I have to have Raisinets when I watch a movie. I gotta have Raisinets, dark chocolate Raisinets. So we did the small loan and got sodas, and they are refillable. That was like $24, 3 sodas. And the popcorns, large popcorn, I think it was refillable. I think it was like 12 or $14. Yeah. So that we spent like $8 on snacks, and we brought them in, making sure they didn't rattle in our pockets when we walked in. Sneaking the stuff in there. I feel like I'm friggin' 14 years old. I'm sneaking stuff into a movie theater. God, so I ate half a bucket of cheese popcorn. Holy crap. And half a bucket of caramel. And no, Dennis, I'm not making that mess in my house. Oh my God. That is loving popcorn. $600 Pepsi, small size, but it's literally 52-gallon drum. Yeah, pretty much. What about Al? Like I said, I'm glad I'm single and no kids. No loans for me to take out when I see a movie. Yeah, I mean, for me to go to the movie was $45 just to get into the movie was $45. Yeah, $12 for popcorn. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A pretzel's like $8. A pretzel. Yeah, it's psychotic when you go to now you know why the car prices are falling. Everybody's spending money on a movie. It's freaking ridiculous. Oh my God. So, oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Actually, Sue, my theater actually had cocktails. I sneak a cocktail in. I actually mine has cocktails and beer, so you can. Well, it's more fun to sneak it in though. Yes, Puzzle is a SAG member. She does get in for free. Yes, her appearances do count. I'm trying to piggyback off her insurance. It's better than mine. The SAG members do have great insurance. That's why she has to make appearances so then she can keep her SAG card. This does count toward it. You'll see on IMDb, she'll actually have as herself on DJ's Classic Garage. So we'll have that. Make sure. All right. So back to Mecom and car things, because why not? That's why we're here. So everybody, yes, take and gaze on this yellow Super B that sold for $55,000. It's really a nice car. Somebody spent a lot of time on this car, except that the dash that looks awful. The speedometer seems to be broken, being that's below 0. And unfortunately, this was a red car. And somehow or the other, somebody painted it yellow and they didn't give you a spare. And they put brakes on it in front without guards on these. And the underside of this car looked kind of nasty. And yeah, and oh yeah, there's rust back here. That's rust or paint overspray. I can't tell. So yeah, this is one of those cars I have. Yeah, from ketchup to mustard. What about Al? Yes, I don't know why you would take a car that was red originally and paint it yellow. I mean, it was obviously a lot of work to paint it yellow, and obviously they didn't make the money back on this car. There's no way if they spent money because it's just been painted. You can tell it was just painted. And it's nice. It's a 4-speed car. It's a real 4-speed car. Even has the fender tag on it right here. This thing right here. This fender tag tells everything about this car. Well, most things. And down on the bottom, right here, D21, that is a 4-speed. And it is a real Super B. And it was built in 10B. Wait, is that what the hell is that? 10? Can't be. Is that upside down? Because 10, they didn't use 10. Because it would be, oh my God, I can't even read that. It's upside down. Because this is the month and all, and usually, unless that was, because they didn't do 10 because it was A, B, and C. Very weird. But yeah. But it has this, and why you would paint a car that's R6, which is a pretty bright red, and you make it yellow, I have no idea. But it's sold $55, so the buyer got a good price on it. It's not a bad looking. It presents well, and it's one of those cars where if you have to have it, you'll get it, and it's yellow, so it's high impact. It's not a bad car. I wouldn't necessarily poo-poo it, but I think it is a little bit much for what if it's not the right color. I think it's a little expensive, but it's still a 4-speed car and an air grabber car. So, and it has some of the stuff you need to have it. I don't know. But, let's move on to I'll show you how this is how the market's getting soft. This car. Let's take a look at this car. So this is a 69 Roadrunner painted in a ridiculous green. That's not a normal color. And it didn't sell at $80,000 because this person has much more than that in this car. And 6 years ago, this car would have sold for $100,000. All day long, twice on Sunday, it would have sold because of the stuff that this person did to it, which is a tragedy or travesty. These seats are atrocious. This interior is criminal. This is criminal. I mean, honestly, they make all these door panels and stuff. You could buy the real ones. It has 3 pedals. I don't know why it has that on the steering wheel. It's a rim blow steering wheel. The dash has been redone. Look at that. All that. The interior is horrendous, though. I mean, this is all expensive custom work. They probably spent like 10 grand or more on this interior. And it literally is horrendous. I mean, it's horrendous, this car. And it didn't sell. But a few years back, this car would have easily sold for over $100,000. I mean, the trunk is just an absolute tragedy. I mean, this car is everything wrong with people making modifications. I'm surprised it's not a donk and it's not on 22s. It is an utter shame that they took a pretty decent car and literally did all that to it. And this is why I always say, like, if you have a car, don't customize it, especially to this extent, especially if it's a real Roadrunner, which I think this is. Don't do that because you honestly, RM23, yeah, it's a real Roadrunner. You're never going to make the money back on it. No one else is going to want it. And I'm surprised it got it to 80,000. The seats, I think it's worse than an old broken down truck. It's literally like out of some sort of ghetto car or something. I mean, it's all I keep on seeing. I mean, it really it's like out of a new Challenger or something. I mean, that is just horrendous. The thing is, the new buyer, first of all, they didn't sell. It was 80. And honestly, to bring it back to stock, it would cost undo that interior, and that paint is just so bad. I mean, you're talking probably another 15 grand to just to undo all the whatever they did in this car. And that's just what we can see what they did in this car. And another 10 to 15,000 on top of it to bring it back to stock. And that's if we don't even know what else they did to the car. So, yeah, the interior though is pretty horrendous on this thing, and the trunk is too. It's a shame. And then of course they had 2 cars at this auction because this beautiful looking Super B, this is 69. It's sort of what my uncle had, except my uncle had a brown vinyl on it. And you look at the outside of this car, you go, damn. Yes, 80 grand is a lot for a fixer upper. And this car, 50 grand, it stopped dead. And you're wondering why. I mean, it looks beautiful on the outside. And then you look at the interior. Same guy did this car. Everything down to the way that the dash is done. This interior is horrendous. Just believe it the way it was. I mean, this is absolutely hideous. Even has the fender tag on it. And this car was originally T5, which I think was teal. This was a teal car. Or T5, hold on. Consult the great book. T5. T5. Oh, it is the right color. It is a bronze car. So it's a real bronze car. Duh. It's a real bronze car built in April. Not a lot of options on it. And you went and you did just horrendous things like this to the car. I don't even know what this is in the trunk, but this is a sin. This is an absolute sin. This car has just been brutalized so bad. Jamie, let me see what Jamie says here. Are you familiar with the murder case that was on the news in 2015? An old man and his wife put an ad on Craigslist seeking a vintage car, and the guy that answered the car lured them to Georgia. No, I did not hear about that one. Now I'm creeped out. Craigslist. It's where where the people that do really creepy things lurk. That's why it's not around anymore. Yes, Benjamin, it should be illegal to do that to a car. I mean, seriously, this is a crime. It really is. You took a car that was really nice and an original and a Bumblebee delete car. It's a striped delete car. So it just has the bumblebees on it. And they literally butchered the car. I don't mind the 17-inch wheels. 17-inch wheels look good on this car. But and they spent so much money on this car. Oh, actually, they put an aftermarket front suspension in this thing. Dear God, why? Total disgrazie. Yeah, they spent. If they had to restore this car and paint the engine the wrong color, if they had to restore this car, they probably spent like 70 grand fixing it. Because I mean, they went and they put this QA1 front suspension for no apparent reason in here. I mean, it's a real Super B. And there's no reason to do this to a real Super B when you can just go get a Coronet and do that. And look, so they put the bolts on upside down. These bolts are supposed to be facing the other direction. Great attention to detail. But I mean, look at that. That is such a shame that this car has just been, it's just not what it should be. It does look so beautiful on the outside. And this is always the sin that you get closer and go, why? Just why? Yes, Wix oil filter. At least they had the good oil filter on there. It's all I use. Seriously, it's all I use in my cars. It's Wix. Except for the Ford truck that gets a Ford. The Fords get their Ford filters. And I'm okay with that. That's fine. But all my other cars get Wix and they get Wix Gold because Wix is probably the best thing you can put in your car. 100%. Actually, the K&N filter, from my understanding, not a bad filter. Not a bad filter at all. Actually, I've used it and seemed fine. Didn't have any oil pressure problems and seemed to keep the oil pretty in good nick. So, yeah. This is for, I believe, I think Sue M asked that. Asked for this. And it was like, for going, since it's dog days of summer, I thought about, what would be a good little thing to have if you're taking a trip, because I'm going to be taking a short little trip soon. So I'm not going to be here next week. Take the the newer old BMW for a little cruise. And I thought about this. What would be what you should have in your car if you're taking any type of trip? And this is kind of like, oh, actually, no, you can't read that. Now you can. Okay. So here I am with my trailing my Charger to Mo Party. And Good Tunes is one of them, yes. But I was thinking about how to make sure you make it home. So things you should have on a road trip. First thing is AAA insurance. And the good one, the one that can tell you 150 miles. Honestly, it's not a lot of money, but that one tow you're going to need, I mean, you never know. You can get 2 flats. It's not even the car's unreliable. You can get 2 flat tires. You're going to need to be towed. Yeah, that would probably be a thing. Yes, what about Al? Yes, that too. I do live in Florida. Yes, and a piss jug. Yes, a piss jug would be good. Well, I'll add the piss jug to this. So AAA is a really necessary thing because you just never know what's going to happen and how you're going to, if you need to get fixed, or if something just bad happens to you, like 2 flat tires or something weird. And a can of truck or semi-trailer Fix-A-Flat. It's a giant can of Fix-A-Flat, and honest to God, it will reinflate a car tire. Also, for my trailer I carry, it'll reinflate that trailer tire. Because I don't know about you, but changing a trailer tire on the side of the road does not seem like an absolute party to me. It seems like something I just don't want to do, and I'm just gonna kind of not have that done. And yes, earplugs if only satellite has the vehicle only satellite radio. No, you just don't spend the money on that. An air pump of any kind. They sell them everywhere now. You can buy cordless ones, corded ones. It doesn't have to be awesome. It just has to be, you'll put more air in the tire. A flashlight. I know that your phone has one there, but carry an extra flashlight. A blinking distress light. Usually you can get like the combination of these things. Very important to have that, especially if it's nighttime, so people could see you so you don't get run over. Potable water/potable. Something you can drink, but also, yeah. Oh, I like that. A CB radio to that list. Yeah, people still, especially if you contact a trucker, that could be helpful. Especially like where I'm going, like I'm going up to Bowling Green in September. I could see that being useful there because CB radio being in those mountains and all, yeah, probably a good idea. There's a lot of truckers on the big road. You can probably get some help, find out what things are. Duct tape. Duct tape is very, very useful. Remember last week, I think maybe somebody had asked about, fixing things. I said, if you need a belt, you could just take pantyhose, put on it, but you could also take duct tape. Take duct tape, a long ring of duct tape, duct it together, put it on there, and actually that will hold and be a belt also. I mean, I wouldn't rev the engine crazy at that point, but yeah. Zip ties. It almost sounds like I'm going to abduct somebody because I have duct tape and zip ties and a towel. I'm this is the road trip or the serial person list here. A good spare tire. Yeah. Check that out. Some gloves. You see, yeah, and paper towel. Yeah, you know what? This almost sounds like either you're taking a road trip or you're gonna be removing somebody. You're right. This is the more I look at this list, it's kind of insane. A safety vest. CB radio can give you traffic and weather alerts. That's true. Safety vest. Yeah, that's a thing I'll add on here. Safety vest is a good thing, especially reflective at night, so you can be seen. You just want, because the one thing, if you're on the side of the road, you want to be seen, because you don't want to be somebody coming up on you, especially if it's raining. You don't want somebody coming up on you and noticing you the last minute. And no malice. But because it can't happen, especially on dark roads in the rain. So a kick-ass 8-track player, you find the 8-tracks. Worst thing though is the newest music get on 8-tracks like the early 80s. But yeah, like a safety vest would be good. That's why you also get the flashy light thing. Anything road flares, they sell like electronic road flares. I actually have one in Triangle in my BMW. BMWs used to always have their kits where they had that. Oh yeah, jump started. Duh, I forgot to put it on there. And now that's why I like the chat, because the chat's so helpful, because I forget things. Yeah, then right now they sell incredible jump starters. They're lithium ion, they last forever. I carry one in every vehicle I have. And they sell those, and get one that does like up to an 8-liter diesel. That will guarantee it will start your car. Oh, if you have an 8-liter diesel, it's probably good that you have it too. Yeah, 2 diesel are yeah, so many tow truck drivers get killed. Yeah. People just don't pay. Even tow truck drivers usually have things out. People just don't pay attention. That's why, you can't be too safe when you're traveling. Honest to God. Because a lot of highways don't have any lights on them. I'm talking main highways, like 75 here. Only certain sections of 75 in Florida have light. Most sections don't have any light at all. Alligator Alley is pitch friggin' black. I drove across it in my Charger before I put LEDs in it. I swear to God, I thought I didn't have any lights at all. I should have had a white stick with a red tip on it. That's how dark it was. I couldn't see a damn thing. I just saw where the little reflectors were and kept the car in between them. But honestly, it's amazing. It's amazing how dark roads really are when you're driving at night. And if it's raining, forget it. You're not going to be able to see anything. Yes, safety first. European cars, and goes a mouse. You know about this. European cars used to have all the safety stuff in them. Like BMW and Mercedes always had triangles in them. They had the whole setup in case you broke down to be safe. And it's amazing. American cars never ever had any type of stuff for if something happened. They gave you a spare tire and something to change it with, and that's about it. Yes, the first aid box. BMW used to put the first aid box underneath the passenger seat. I always carry and carrying a first aid box is also pretty important. I almost put that on here, but I figured paper towels and duct tape, in case you cut yourself, you could always use that as a band. I've used it as a Band-Aid. Imagine that, being in the garage. My daughter yelled at me because I literally cut myself in the garage, and I come in and I have this paper towel and all this tape around my hand. And she's like, "Dad, did you cut yourself?" I went, "Yeah, but I took care of it. I had some tape and a paper towel. I'm fine." But yeah, first aid box too. I'm going to add all of these things to here because this is good stuff. And I will have my little, I may even just make this a post with that, with the, with jump starter, safety vest. And I have a puzzle. I think a puzzle, if you take a puzzle with you, a doctor. Yep. The 87 SDL had a first aid box. Yeah. The German cars were wonderful. Pen doesn't write. But yeah, I may actually make this. I may add to this and make it a post. Safety vest, jump starter, and first aid. Butt wipes. Yeah, butt wipes are actually very important. I don't take a trip without butt wipes. Butt wipes are very important. Yeah, I always have to have those. Except when you go to Europe, because they have bidets. So you don't need butt wipes in Europe. It's very nice. A doctor, yeah, well, that would also be helpful too, wouldn't it? So yeah, that was this is kind of a talking point, because honestly, we're in the middle of summer and everybody taking their trips. You got to plan. If you're driving, you got to plan. You got to plan for bad things. I mean, granted, I drove cross country in a BMW convertible that I really didn't know much about. I mean, I knew the car, but I changed the oil on it and I put a new set of tires on it. That's all I did to the car. And I drove it across country. 3,200 miles. And I don't know how we made it because I ended up having the clutch explode right afterwards. I had spark plugs come flying out. And yeah, so, but I had a jack and I had fix a flat. I had a safety kit and I had a jump starter and yeah, I had all these things. But yeah, I don't know. And to think, in 1989 when I drove my Charger to Florida, I had a spare tire, and that's it. I literally, I mean, I took that drive so many times from New York to Florida, and I had nothing but a good spare tire. And this is before cell phones. And so literally it's like, yeah, boy, was I crazy back then. I didn't have any of this stuff. I didn't have AAA. A Ghostbusters proton pack. I don't know if you really need that. I think that may be a little excessive. That's a little excessive. Yes, please. Yes. I will do that. I will make that I will put that out as a thing. And I'll add all these things to it and I'll put it out as a post. Because yeah. I don't know if I can do a full video on it. Probably can do also a video on it, but sure. Yeah. Because people just don't think about this type of stuff and then they get you see them, The other thing is make sure your gas gauge works or at least know, how to do this. Granola bars. I almost put those on there. Sue M, I almost put granola bars on there. Because, yeah, granola bars are very useful. Because, you can eat them, or if a bear's going to attack you, you can throw the granola bar at them and they'll eat the granola bar. So, oh, Vintage 76. How long did it take you to drive to Florida? Well, 2 days, because it is from Staten Island, New York to just north of Tampa was 17 hours. So it was about 17 hours. And the best I ever did was one time I saw my uncle in Woodbridge, Virginia, and I drove straight there. I had an EXP, which I would not recommend doing long drives in a Ford EXP because I literally was hunched over when I got out. I actually fell out of the car because it was just on there. I had only stopped for gas. I didn't even stop to eat. I stopped for gas and I got like a drink at the gas station. That's when I hit a morning dove when I was leaving early in the morning. It got sucked into the car and then I had feathers coming out when I turned the air conditioning on. That really sucked. That was terrible. But it took me 13 hours to get to Virginia, Woodbridge, Virginia, and then another 4 hours to get to New York from there. It was always about 17 hours. And this was even before they raised the speed limits. So I would just follow locals, how fast they were going. I figured they had a clue. Like in Georgia, I would run with the Georgia people. And then when they slowed down, I slowed down. And so that worked really well. And same thing in Florida and whatever. You got to plan snacks. I eat red fish the entire ride. Oh, my God. I love the Swedish fish. I love Swedish fish. My God, I don't think I could eat them the whole time. I'd be jittery. Such so much sugar. Be like sitting there like, I'm already bad enough when I drive. I drive a little quick. I drive a little quick. Like, I think it's 16 or 17 hours. It's just it's not a pleasant drive. And I'm going to be going up the Bowling Green and stopping at my friend's place, and that's gonna be 10 hours trailing a car. I can't at least now I have heated seats. So I got that going for me. Heated seats and a full Android Auto. So yeah, I can listen to Italian music the entire way. I don't have to listen to satellite. It's fine. Yes, when doves cry. Yes. Yeah, they make a big mess if you hit them and suck them into the car, and, all the feathers go everywhere. It's kinda horrendous. That was very unpleasant. And then I had to st when I first stopped for gas, I had a this is when you actually can get water. Uh, this is when you can add water and stuff. I had to spray down the engine because there was bird all over it. Suem, out about out. Suem, you got a nickname you snack pack. No kidding. My God, Suem. I thought I was obsessed with food. Crazy. That's awesome though. Will you be listening to Connie Francis? Also, my condolences. Oh dear Lord. Jamie, did you ever fall asleep while driving that distance? No. Actually, no. Um, on those drives back and forth to New York from Florida, I was never that tired. Because I would stop before it got dark. And honestly, it really no. I honestly, I only fell asleep once. And that was going. It was late at night going across the Howard Franklin Bridge, and I fell asleep for about 2 miles. I don't know how I stayed on the road. Yeah, make sure you do that, Diesel Larry. Make sure your coolant is good. Oh, you do a full check of your engine. Make sure there's oil filled to the top. Make sure the coolant is still 50-50 and green and not sloppy. Power steering fluid. Make sure you don't have any leaks. And yeah, make sure all the hoses look good. Vintage 76 garage, 17 hours. Not no. We would go on the way up. We would stop in North Carolina. Um, and on the way down, we'd stop at south of the border. In Carolina, we'd stop in South Carolina to break the trip up because you just didn't want to do more than 10 hours. And I did 12, no 13 once, and I would never do that. I couldn't do that now. Um, Sue M, I do road trips. You don't want to stop. I plan accordingly. Uh, Mm. Yeah. No, I only stopped to get gas, and then if I had to go to the bathroom, I'd go to the bathroom when I got gas, and then I'd buy something to drink, and maybe a snack of some sort. Yeah. Play and yeah, I always brought actually, the best was my great uncle and my great aunt. They had one of those conversion vans, and, they would make a roast beef the day before they were going to either come back to Florida or go up to New York. And they would sit there, and my aunt would be in the back of the conversion van cutting the roast beef and making sandwiches as they drove and never stopped. They never stopped. 17 hours. They would just drive and they would have meals. Like they would stop at gas stations, and that would be about it, or rest stops. And that was it. But they would literally make sandwiches and have a cooler of like Cokes. And literally that would be their entire trip. It freaking that's that's absolutely crazy batty kind of stuff. Absolutely crazy batty kind of stuff. God, I almost got to do the road trip show because I oh my god, I had so many different road trips I've been on. And I've been so fortunate with them. I only had one actually, I only had one trip, knock on wood, only had one trip where I didn't make it, and it was with my EXP, and that's when the, um yes, I do eat. Um, that's where the, half shaft broke on me while I was driving it, and I literally fixed a half shaft in Woodbridge, New Jersey, in a parking lot. I changed out the half shaft on the car and put it back together and drove the rest of the way to Florida. So yeah, yeah, Vintage 76. I know I'm getting a little hungry too. I mean, I had a massive lunch. And then like some peaches for dinner. But now she's talking about popcorn, granola bars, Swedish fish, and I'm dying here. I'm ready to go get some ice cream. I don't know about you, but it's hot too. Check your DMs in the forum, please, at DJ's Classic Garage about the first aid box. Oh, okay. Now I have homework. All right. Hold on. Let me go to the wonderful world of Radio Gunk, because I think that's where we're going. Uh, where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. Go somehow. Oh, there we go. I got something here. Hold on. Hold on. Oh my God. Oh, this is crazy. Okay. I'm gonna show this because this is Germans at their peak. This is Germans at their peak. Make it go, look at this. Go, literally in the back of the car is a little box right here, and in that little box is your first aid kit. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. That is even better than BMW literally put it underneath the passenger seat. This is like it's like it's there. Holy mackerel, that is the coolest thing ever. You gotta love German cars. That's the one thing I love about it. Oh, here we go. Dale Fick. I have an '06 Corvette that I haven't started in 3 years. Ooh. Besides change the battery, what else do I need? Do I need new tires since I haven't moved, etc.? Okay. Um, it's a fuel injected car. I would get whatever gas is out of there. I'd find a way to get the gas out of the car. Yeah, that gas is 3 years old, and it's modern gas, so it's turned to nasty stuff. So I would get the gas out. The tires, look at the date on them. There's things how to read it. If they're more than 6 years old and they've been sitting, I would probably get new tires. Uh, Battery, yes. Also, pull all the plugs. Spray WD-40 in all the cylinders. And once you get the battery in there, don't start it. Like pull the fuel pump relay, the fuse. Pull that fuse and put WD-40 in all the cylinders. Don't put the plugs back in, and just turn it over. Just turn it over. Lubricating those cylinders, because you want to make sure in case it got moisture in it, you want to have it unstuck. And then put some good premium gasoline in there, like Shell or Exxon. I'm talking like some high end stuff. Don't go to Sam's Club, whatever. Buy some good gas, put it in there, and also check all the fuel lines, all the rubber. Just check them, make sure there's no breaks or anything. And then put everything back together, have good gas in it, and then start it and just let it run easy for a little bit, because it hasn't gone anywhere. So that's why you're going to spin it over. You also get oil into everything. Make sure you put new oil in there. God, yeah, put new oil in there, new filter, new oil, and then run it for run until it gets warm, and do that a couple of times. And you should be fine at that point. And also then check all the fuel lines to see if anything's leaking. If everything's good, then you're good to go, because that it's the initial start that is going to be the hardest on that car. And get it running first, then the tires are going to be what you can do later. They'll probably feel like they're square. You're probably going to want to change them anyway, especially the ZR, the high speed rated tires. They're going to be absolutely horrible. How to get the old gas out? Well, that's a trick. Some cars you can drain it just out of the bottom of the tank. Some cars you could siphon it, but they have anti-siphon on them. What I would do is you could probably just take the fuel filter off if it's low down and gravity drain it. Some people don't start cars for 3 years. I knew people that hadn't started a car for 3 years. It's fine. It happens. Getting the gas out, though, on a modern car is a pain in the ass. So I don't know if Corvettes have a drain on them because my BMW has both my BMWs have drain on them, so you could drain them out, but also you could drain it by just gravity feeding to the fuel filter underneath and getting it started, just having a container. Um, it's gonna be messy, but you gotta get that gas out. That gas is garbage, and it'll screw those fuel injectors up. And I would also put, like, Marvel Mystery Oil in with that really good gas because you're gonna need to lubricate everything, in the top end of that engine on the inside, like all the fuel injectors and all. That's gonna be a real mess. Um, it's restarting a car after a long time is a hard thing because, especially a fuel injected car, because you're dealing with really small things and any type of trash or whatever from degrading hoses, whatnot, can mess that car up really bad. So, um, that would be my advice on getting that car running again. Those I like those Corvettes. The '06s are pretty. That's a pretty cool car. Um, but yeah, I would definitely be as cautious as I can to make sure the engine is the cylinders are all lubricated and clean, and that the uh, the fuel system is clean, and that you have good oil that you've lubricated through the system because you're gonna have to really do a lot of just the first couple times. Don't drive it, just run it till it gets warm and check for leaks and stuff, and then you know I eventually you're gonna change the coolant on the car because it's just been sitting. Yes, the '06 is I think that's a C6. Yeah, I think that's I like those cars a lot. I think that is a C6, and those are really nice cars. Um, it has a really bulletproof engine in it too. It has an LS in there, so I mean, just if you're very careful about getting it started, you'll be fine. Except I'm very cautious when I'm starting a car for the first time. I like lubricating everything just because you just don't know how much moisture, especially on a newer type car. The tolerances is so tight on those cars. You just want to make sure that none of the rings are held up, and when after you get it started, that the gas is very, very lubricated to be able to lubricate those fuel injectors and the top end of that engine, just because it's been sitting. And I know it's a roller engine, but it's still overhead valve. So and the other thing about turning over is to pump up the lifters because the lifters are going to be flat as could be. So that's why you pull the fuel pump and you just spin that engine. Spin it with no plugs in it, so there's no resistance. Real easy. It's gonna be kinda messy, but you have to, spray them down and just flip that engine over, and, you should be fine. I know it sounds like overkill, but I'd rather be overcautious and the engine be perfectly fine than just to wing it, and then, you end up doing damage to a perfectly good engine. Because 'cause I'm assuming the engine ran one before you put it away, so, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. So good luck with that. Send us, next time we have a live, pop us a picture because I'm always cool. Wouldn't the Marvel oil damage the cat? Only if you just a small amount. I've run it. I've run it in cars with cats. It's fine. You just you put a little in. It's only a couple of ounces, and I've run it in my truck a few times because I had a leaky injector to try to clean it, um, and, I put it in also to stabilize in the, old BMWs, and it's been fine. The BMWs are usually really finicky, and, it's been fine, but, you definitely need to have something like that in there to kinda give it a little extra lubricity because the gasoline today has crap for lubricity. So, the additive of your choice, but definitely you're gonna need to make sure you make sure that it's lubricated and you clean out the fuel injectors. You can even put Techron in if you want, an extra little shot of Techron in there, but I just like Marvel Mystery. I haven't had any issues with cats with it. And that's even on my 2016 truck, I put it in there. I put it in there for like 3 tankfuls just to try to clean things out, and my fuel economy came back. Don't clean puzzle with that, it can damage the cat. Yes, I know. I understand. Yes, I know. And she's back on my lap, and it is 75. It is how hot is it in here? It's like 77 degrees, but now it's 100 degrees on my lap because I have a cat on me, and she's licking my leg constantly. Yeah, the fun of having cats. Yeah, she doesn't like riding in the cars though. Dogs like riding in cars. My dogs always like riding in the trucks because Toyota gave me the commercial. Dogs love trucks, and they're right. Dogs do love trucks. So yeah, so it's I yeah. Dale, thank you, Dennis. What a mechanic cost do you think? Oh, what do you mean, mechanic to work on it? Jesus, yeah, mechanics now. Um, like independent guys are over $100 an hour now. Because my mom uses an independent guy out, and I know I don't work on my own mom's own car because she's all the way out in Nevada, and he's over $100 an hour. Um, it's just mechanics are expensive. Well, because all the stuff's so expensive. Well, you need so many specialized tools. Um, but yeah, I mean, it depends what you need them to do. But I mean, the thing is, at least on a Corvette, it's pretty straightforward. It's still Chevrolet, but it's a good independent guy is going to be over $100 an hour. That's all I can tell you. I don't know exactly what you need. So yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. I have a friend where I have some videos on the Oldsmobile. I'm only charging him $35 an hour because I'm being nice to him, and he doesn't understand what a friggin' deal he's getting. I come to him, yeah. He hasn't even bought me lunch or given me coffee. Dogs love to ride shotgun with their heads out the window. Yes, actually, mine like just hanging out in the back with the seats up, and just kind of standing looking around. I'm not so big about having their heads out the window because they can get damage in their eyes, or from the crap out there. But as long as they can see and look around, they're pretty happy. Dogs can be pretty happy like that. So, oh, puzzle, stop it. I wish I can tell you the sensation of a cat licking your leg while you're trying to read other people's comments and think about things that are fascinating to say, or at least kind of keep it moving along. It's been so yeah, but yeah, the dog thing. Yeah, cats not so much. If you can stop them from yowling, it's always a good thing. So cool. At least I was able to help somebody tonight. I feel so good. Oh, that made my whole day. So yeah, I guess we're gonna be wrapping it up. And so I have a video out now on Boostain. I'm gonna have a video I'm gonna have some videos out soon. One of them is gonna be on the V12 BMW, which is just a phenomenal engine. Also, I'm gonna do a video on the 71 to 74 B bodies because it's kind of interesting. A little bit of history on it and a little bit of some weird things about them, both in the past and the current time. It's just one of those things. So, yeah, I just won't be here next week. I'm gonna have a short little vacation, thank God, because I need one. Because I'm gonna go to the beach. I'm so excited. I'm going to the beach. I'm bringing a convertible to the beach. Yes, I'm gonna enjoy my vacation. I'm going to the beach. Thanks a lot about Al. Thank you. I try. So yeah, and the other thing is that I'm trying to get to 10,000. I know this is a big number to get to, but I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. So if you know anybody or watch my content, pass it along because I really want to get to 10,000. I will shave my beard live on air if I get to 10,000. I'm just saying that I want to get to 10,000. I'm trying hard here. Where was Barbara? I don't know. I'm very upset that Barbara didn't come. Hopefully she watches the replay because I do put these back up. Because, let's leave them out there because there's good stuff, like how I helped oh my god, my cat just stepped on me, and that really hurt. Um, and now she's going down here. Oh, yeah, so, as I helped Dale Fick with his car. I hope somebody else can get some help with that. Yes, thank you, it was fun, I had fun, I enjoyed this. I understand 5,000 would be easier, but I want big numbers here. I want 10,000. I know it's a ways away, but you know what? I'm gonna keep trying to put out good content. If you ever think of something you want me to do, just drop me a line. I'll do it. I'll work on it. I'll see if I can actually do a video on it because, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make stuff that make people with old cars, just cars in general, people who want to do something on cars. I want them to understand and be able to fix their own cars. And I want them to understand why it costs so much to do something, or, what car to buy if they want to buy a classic, or, what car not to buy. Just things of that general. What's going on in the world of cars? Yes, I do save myself a fortune working on my cars. Yes, Jamie. Yes, I do. I put a convertible top on a BMW, and God, I'm still working on that video because I have like PTSD. I bought the top and all the stuff to go with it. It was $1,100, and I put a top on a car. A shop would have charged. I would have paid $3,000 to have this done easily all day long. It took me 25 hours, but I did it. And the top is the convertible runs beautiful. So yeah, you're not kidding. Doing any of the work yourself really saves a lot of money. And there's a lot of simple things you can do. If you do your own spark plugs, or, if you learn how to do disc brakes on your car, they charge $800 at a dealership to do disc brakes. You could go buy the parts at O'Reilly's or AutoZone or any of these places. You can buy the parts for $200 and do it yourself. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's tightening things to a spec. It really isn't hard. And, that I just, more people need to be able to do at least the basic things themselves, because you're going to get ripped off people working on your car. The only thing I can't do yet, because I need to move. And if I move, I'll buy a tire machine. I'll do my own tires too. Because I used to do that when I was in high school and college. I did tires, and I know how to do them. I do them all day long. I do them in my sleep. Give me a tire machine and a balancer, and I'll never have to bring my cars anywhere ever again. I'll be so happy. So yeah, you can save yourself a lot of money. All right. So with that, problem. Fake OEM parts. Oh yeah. Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Or even just fake parts. Like NGK actually had to put things on their boxes to say that the NGKs are real. They're fake NGKs are sold. Fake spark plugs. Think of that for a second. Fake spark plugs. 2 days of Larry doing shocks. Yeah. Do you know how much a dealer would charge you to do shocks? I mean, seriously, they would probably charge $800 in labor on your trucks. They'd probably charge $800 in labor, which is insane. They're shocks. This isn't rocket science. It's a bunch of bolts. Seriously. It is mind numbing. The price of shocks is psychotic too. You buy any type of decent shock, you're like $150 a piece now. It's absolutely nuts how expensive shocks have gotten, or anything for cars. But yeah, the fraudulent parts though, my God, and they literally come in the same boxes and everything. So yeah, it's really not the fake OEM parts is really, and the fake parts in general is bad. $400. That's not bad. $100 a piece. That's not bad at all. So, all right, cool. Vintage 76 saying good night. So I guess that means we should all say good night. And remember, I'll say it again at the end, but I'll say it now, that, if you have a cool old car, something fun to drive, just take it out. You'll make someone's day, probably your own. And I had that happen the other day. It was amazing. Made my month. So thanks. And I'll catch everybody relatively soon. Bye. If you liked what you saw, subscribe. If you didn't Thank you for watching to this point. And as always, if you have a cool car or something fun to drive, take it out. You'll make someone's day, probably your own.